It's Casey here. So I just wanted to talk today about this VGC tourney I did. It was for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We ended up doing a round robin. It was only 4 people, unfortunately. Very small, but I did really just enjoy the overall experience, and I just kind of wanted to share about it. First and foremost, though, I do want to talk about my sponsor, Next Level Anime. He does all types of anime apparel. He does shirts, he does hats, all that good stuff, hoodies. If you really want to check it out and you love anime stuff for a really decent price, go check them out at nextlevelanime.com. Use my code KC to get 10% off of your order. That out of the way, let's talk about it. So, I entered a VGC tournament here in my local area. Thank you for the people that hosted it. Ultimate Spice Gaming was the place that hosted the tournament, so shout out to you, Brian. We did a round robin tournament. I ended up bringing this team here. It is my Tinglu, Palafin. They call it like the core team, where it's just like the 4 really good Pokemon of like Amoonguss, Palafin, Arcanine, and Fluttermane, and then you either pick any legend you want, essentially, and then you just throw in whatever you want as your 6th slot. I chose Kingambit for my 6th slot, but I think moving forward, if I was to go to like other tournaments, I'll probably just end up picking like Dragonite. I really like Dragonite now that I've like been playing more VGC. So why did I pick this team? So I really like Palafin. It's the sickest Pokemon out of Gen 9, and I just think it's really powerful if you know how to use it properly. Knowing when to protect, knowing when to switch him out, knowing to bring him back in, using Wave Crash, using Jet Punch, all these, like just everything about it is just so skillful to me, and it's just so powerful. I picked Tinglu as my one ancient Pokemon that I chose, just mainly because it's just like a tank. It absolutely helps you in your Fluttermane matchups and like Chi-Yu and any other just special attackers. It lets you basically just cut every Pokemon on their team's like life in half every turn, which is really powerful to me. That thing just lives. The longer it just stays on the field, you're probably just winning that game. I think Fissure's healthy, but a lot of people hate it. But when you are getting stalled out by like Dodonzo with leftovers or Garganacl that just spams recover, you just really need like a one-hit KO out, and I think Tinglu is the Pokemon that can do that. As for the rest of the core, Amoonguss is broken. I think it's like the best support Pokemon we've seen like ever, arguably, unless you're counting like legends and other crazy Pokemon that you shouldn't be able to use. And then Arcanine was just a staple, just with Intimidate, and it beats Amoonguss, which was nice. It's not Gyarados kind of beats it, but then you're leaving yourself really weak to Iron Hands because you already have Palafin. It's a water, so you're getting crushed either way. Now, why did I pick Kingambit? Now, Kingambit is the interesting one. I wanted a dark Pokemon that can help me beat the Trick Room teams. And Didi and Armarouge are both psychic, and both of them just get absolutely crushed by Kowtow Cleave. Also, if you can set up Sucker Punch before Psychic Terrain, or if you can just clear one of them, and then you have a solid Pokemon that can knock out Armarouge, usually your Fluttermane, then you're okay to be able to beat those Trick Room teams. It ended up not being useful in the tournament because I didn't play against any Trick Room, but that was like its purpose, essentially. Fluttermane's like the best Pokemon, and it's over like a 70% pick rate in every tournament. It's just it's busted. There's no real need to talk about Fluttermane. So what were my matchups? So I played against round 1 a Dodonzo Palafin team. This consisted of Dodonzo, Tatsugiri, Palafin. I think he had Amoonguss, and then just like 2 other Pokemon. This matchup I won 2-0. And honestly, I think I only like truly just like 2-0, like it was an easy game, just because the person was still new to Pokemon and they actually didn't EV or IV train, which I thought was like, it's just unfair. Like, I Wave Crashed Palafin into his Dodonzo and it almost one-shot it, so that could tell you how big of a difference that game was, like just how under power leveled his Pokemon were. So then the next match, funny enough, I played against my friend, and before the tournament, he had some issues with a Switch, transferring over like a save file to another one, and then just trying to get the Switch to like work with his new save file. He ended up just doing a rental team of a doubles team, but that also didn't work for some reason, so he ended up doing like a weird like Mimikyu singles team. So it was like a weird Mimikyu team that also used the Roar Pokemon Hippowdon. So he sets up Toxic Spikes or Self Rocks, and then he just roars and makes you swap out. He actually took a game off me because I made a bad read, and then when he roared out, he Flutter Mane that I got poisoned and got one shot after because I wasn't a good spot for my Flutter Mane. But I ended up winning that set. The Ps were just Amoonguss, kept sporing a lot of his Pokemon, and Palafin was pretty strong against his team also, so that was really cool. And then the last match, that was like the one real tough match. I played against a Tinkaton, Garchomp lead kind of team. And what was really interesting is that the Garchomp was Rocky Helmet plus Rough Skin. So anytime you hit it, you were just taking like a fourth of your health minimum. And so that was really scary, but luckily I felt like I played really well. I brought out Arcanine, so Intimidate kind of already lowers the attack of Garchomp and makes it not so scary, and then Will-O-Wisp on it also just makes it do no damage. And the whole point of that Garchomp is to be tanky and just take a lot of hits but still have solid damage. So when you Intimidate and also Will-O-Wisp it, it's not that powerful anymore. And I also Flare Blitzed into the Tinkaton and just got a one hit KO with that. So that also got rid of like another threat to my team. Yeah, it did go also 2-1. He did beat me that first game, but luckily, thanks to the open team sheets and being able to take notes, I was able to adapt and win both games. One thing I do want to talk about, what I absolutely love about open team sheets and notes, is these are my notes for 2 of my matches. Look at how much I wrote down. I almost basically just wrote down what happened each and every single game, and I absolutely love it. I love that I can be able to write down that my opponent did the same lead games 2 and 3, and so that I could like adapt to it and do my own leads. I also just love having these like team sheets, like knowing exactly what they have. Every terror type, I think that's like one of the biggest flaws of this generation is just the terror types. Being able to terror type into a type that resists or is unaffected by a move, I think it's just ridiculous. I think it's not as bad with the team sheets, but it's just so powerful on ladder. That's why like I think I have like a 50% win rate on ladder. And so with the team sheets though, it solves a lot of that issue. Same thing with just like moves. One of the big things is like when you play against like an Annihilate, having an Annihilate that is either Vital Spirit or Defiant and you don't know which one, it makes your lead like so much harder. If you lead Amoonguss and go Spore and you don't know if it has Vital Spirit and it does have Vital Spirit, you just kind of lose that game. You already wasted a turn. They probably either got beat up by their supporter or they bulked up, and then you're just gonna get kind of swept because now your Amoonguss does nothing to it. But yeah, that was overall my experience. Like I said, only 4 people. Wasn't like a huge like skill cap tourney, and it was kind of, you know, a lot of the people that were coming were just kind of getting a feel of it, but I enjoyed it a lot. I will be at the Fresno Regional in June, and I plan on hopefully being able to make the Oregon Regional. I'm probably gonna get crushed. Let's be honest. But what I am super excited for though is just to see like this environment of like these high level Pokemon players. Like, what are they doing? There is a skill gap when you have the team sheets, know just everything about your opponent's team. Not like, I think there's just an absolute skill gap with the terror types and the team sheets of knowing what your opponent has, every single move, every ability, and it just makes it to where you don't like have this feels bad. So I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to keep playing VGC. It's kind of like my like escape from Yu-Gi-Oh right now. I do love Yu-Gi-Oh. I try to intend to be mostly Yu-Gi-Oh, but right now it's not a spot I really thoroughly enjoy, and I don't plan on going to nationals because the flights are just so expensive, and I still don't even know what the format will be. But yeah, this is just a short video. Just wanted to talk about Pokemon VGC, and let me know if you like more of this type of stuff. I'm trying to get the scene big in my area, and I'm hoping that it does get bigger because I think it's something that has a very low entry level. Like, you don't really have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to keep buying Pokemon or anything like that. You have your game, you have your Switch, you pay your membership online, and then you can just play VGC all the time. So I think it's really awesome. Thank you guys. Have a good one.